I feel like I've talked about this topic before, but I wanted to elaborate. I wanted to bring some insight, and I wanted to hear your take on it. Preferential treatments, perks, fairness in nursing. How you are treated if you don't have friends in management. Stay tuned. And welcome back. I'm Patrice M. Foster, nurse on the run. I know you've heard this before. Friends in higher position paved the way for you to ease on, ease on down the road. You know what I mean? Fairness. What do we know about fairness? Fairness in nursing to me is that you're creating an atmosphere. I'm not talking, we know about the ethical fairness about treating patient regardless of what, we treat them with respect and dignity. Here we go with this word again, respect and dignity. But I'm talking about professional fairness amongst our co-workers and higher up. It if it management continue to do this or draw back from being fair amongst the staff, you create an atmosphere of hostility. Before I continue, please like, comment, hit the notification button twice so that YouTube know that I'm relevant. I'm comments of information that you want me to elaborate on. I read them all, believe it or not. And I know I've been away, but I'm back. I don't like to come out and just give you any information. Whatever information I give you is things that happen in my life and what I see in nursing and what I want to improve. And I always appreciate your comment, even if it's one. Thank you, my old subscriber and my new subscriber. Welcome. About you, but I find when the management is supportive of their staff, we all feel a little safer. You know, everyone that said there's an open door policy, it doesn't always happen that way. And you just hear it from me. But I want to feel safe. I want to feel supportive. I want to be talked to the way I talk to you. If I disrespect you, or if you feel that I disrespect you and you let me know, I'll be the first to apologize. And it happened all the time. So I had this job, yes. Something always trigger that I need. I mean, it's been on my mind for a while, but I decided to talk about it. When you work in a situation, right? I have this job, like I said, I'm no longer there. And some of the things that I was observing, it was a highly negative, toxic environment. The staff, I have no friends. And I'm saying it lightly. Go to work, do your work, and you socialize. You think it's your friend. I told you a long time ago, I had some difficulty distinguish if this was a friend, the difference between friends and associate. And part of that is because of my background. And I don't really want to go about trusting people. I don't want to go into it right now, but it was very difficult for me, and I'm just getting used to knowing what is the difference between a friend and associate. And I realized that I had bad choices. You think it's your friend, and you realize it's not. So, anyway, I took a job and it was a very toxic. And when I say toxic, I didn't have any friends, and I'm saying in higher position. DON, ADON, administration. They, when new company comes in, if you have been in the facility for a while and somebody else take it over, or even if they don't take it over, but a new management come in, what is the first thing they do? We have all been, if you've been in nursing long enough, you see that they bring in people they know, work with before somewhere else. They bring them into the job. And what else happened? After they bring them jobs, they get the better salary. You can't tell me you don't know, because one nurse will slip about her salary, boasting about her salary, boasting about this. You will notice. And when they slip, you realize that you didn't get the same pay as they did. They come in and you realize they're friends. So I was working at this place, yes, and the management brought in all their friends and would talk to them nice. I remember when I went on a unit and, oh no, you're not supposed to be here. That's what the nurse told me. I said, but that's where they send me from the office. I was hired to be the psychiatric nurse, example. And I go up to my unit. My name is up there on the schedule. And I go, I'm supposed to be on psych. They pull me every other day, to the point where I didn't think I have a unit. So anyway, this particular time they pulled me to somewhere unfamiliar, somewhere where I had to orient myself. And so the nurse was there, and she said, "Oh no, you don't. Well, let me get on the phone and call the DON." And she called the DON because she wants to work up there, and she wants to bump me, even though I'm in the slot. And so she called the DON and said, "Oh, Miss Foster, you go here." What can I do? That's the friend. And the friend gets what they want. The friends are allowed to leave early, but the moment you have situation at home and you have to leave early, they write you up. Try to fire you. You don't have any rights then. You never had any rights when the friends come in, because they are going to pick what they want. They're going to erase your name in front of you at the schedule and put themselves in the easier slot. And you will be all over the place. And I've never complained. I just go where they want me. Everybody was noticing it. Why you don't speak up? What's the point? I've had the DON hang up in my face and call me in the office, wanted to write me up. Matter of fact, she figured out a way to get me that I was disrespect in front of another new nurse. I guess that's the friend. That I was disrespectful. That's this. But she hung up in my face. So some of the things you ignore, and you go on and you do your work. Why? Because you have to pay your bills and you don't. Back then when I was younger, I would get upset and try to argue with them. But I noticed that every time you open your mouth, and if you're a truth seeker, if you're speaking the truth, they will brand you as attitude. Don't take it personal. How they treat you. You should tolerate. Perks of having friends in higher positions. You get not to work the weekend, or maybe you don't work on Sundays, but the one that doesn't have any position is always there every other weekend. Or you might get to, I have to leave 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. This is a 12-hour shift. Oh, and you get to leave while people like me will be there picking up the slack for the nurse that left early. So those are the things that they get the perks. And also, what I've noticed is some managers will use fear to control you. Yes, because the bottom line is everybody knows that everybody think that nurse is desperate, and you desperate to keep this job, because a lot of those nurses, some are saying they're married and they're here, and they will step over you to get the overtime. But I'm not here. I don't want you to think it's an all negative environment. How you protect yourself, you just be who you are. If you're a nice person, you do your job. Just go wherever they send you. Just speak up. If you feel like this is a position that, or you put yourself in a situation where your license is at jeopardy, then you may speak up. They may not like you speak up because they're going to talk to you any kind of way, and fearfully, because they think that you need this job, they're going to treat you any kind of way. I felt hurt when the manager hang up in my face and turn around and said, I hang up in her face. I could not prove myself being the wrong. She's the manager. They're going to listen to her. I was in a situation at that same job too, since I was new RN, not new RN to the facility. And I think the reason why I am calm when I goes into these facilities that I take job, because I've gone through some of the situation before, and I know it's not going to turn out good for me, so I just do my best and keep going. Your family won't understand why you had to leave that job. Your family won't understand what goes on until they step foot into nursing. Then they'll kind of understand where's your focus, why you can't stay there. Anyway, so this LPN, and I have nothing against LPN because I was one too. So I was just giving her, she was just sitting. She came in at 3 to 11, and I come in at 7 p.m. And we have to make rounds, and some of the rounds wasn't done, and I was going to be there by myself. So I was just asking her, do you mind do one rounds for me? She took that clipboard and she threw it at me. I'm not doing nothing. FF and N. DD, I can't curse on this channel. I don't like to curse. I don't hang out with people that curse, so I don't know how to curse. Forgive me. She took if that clipboard almost hit me, and so I ducked. And all I said to her, I don't know what I did to you for you to get to that point that you need to fling or try to hurt me with the clipboard, because I asked her, can you do the one rounds for me? She don't want to take orders from no RN. She said, you the RN, you do it. She's been there longer than me. And I find that when you go into a position or you go into a facility and the nurse has been there for years, they are the most difficult one to deal with. But I was calm. I see that she's going to be a difficult one. So I go on, and every day I did it. I was by myself every day. Yes, she has to do some medication. That's all she did was medication. I had to make rounds, do all the charting. It's supposed to be split, but you know what? I rather my peace. And I did all the work myself. Never asked her. Eventually, we start talking. I still never asked her to do anything extra. Management, I did speak to them about it. Didn't do anything. It was like it went through 1 year, and I'm the complainer. I'm the one that complaining. Nobody else ever complaining. Yet when you talk to the nurses, you found out this is her norm. This is how she do to them too. So I learned not to say much because if management doesn't have your back, then you have to have your own back. Work with a rude coworker, one that's constantly disrespecting you. And in that situation, what I did, I had to step back and figure out what is going on. And I realized that after many weeks working with this particular LPN that management came in. The floor usually be all LPNs. And I noticed that about LPN because I had the same attitude. Those RN doesn't do nothing. They just sit on their ass and do shit. Sorry. They don't do anything, just paperwork at the desk. They have this, I feel they have a complex because I had a complex too as an LPN. So in this particular case, I was able to step back and observe why she behaved like that. And I find out once I start being, continue my behavior, talk to her even though she doesn't want to talk to me, how you day, how you doing, how was medication, you just be there, just, take the brunt for a while. What happened is management came in and it was an all LPN floor, which the floor needed an RN and happened to be the only RN was me. So that was an entry. And what they told them before I got there, that they want this floor to be all RNs. And you know what that's like a trigger for them. I have a friend like that. Don't mention nothing about LPN. It triggers her. I've learned that what trigger people I stay away from because I don't want no brunt. But it's not that. And the funny thing about it, those are the LPN that's going to school for RN and they get defensive. I said it one day. You're stepping into your role. You're going to be an RN. It seemed like when you're an LPN, you're trying to overdo it, make all the RNs look bad. We're not trying to make you look bad. I don't have nothing against. I've been working with some of the best LPN. Yes, they are better sometimes than the RN. Yes, we all have a degree. And they're getting there. And those are the ones I encourage. Go get your RN, girlfriend. Get your RN. Don't try to put down another person because you're going to be there too. But anyway, I digress. So, I just encourage her, talk to her, and I find out management shouldn't come in and tell them we're coming to take over. You already created that hostile environment, and it It's calmed down now, but it was. So when you're working with people or nurses, rude coworker, be mindful what triggers them. Sometimes they bring their problems from home. Just continue to be who you are. Be kind, be respectful. Even when the manager hang up in your face, you don't go and do it. I've noticed, because you're not the friend. You ain't gonna get no break. But what I've noticed is, in this particular incident or this particular workplace, I watch some of the nurses who stand, from a distance, just observing. They would curse off the manager and they get position. I don't understand it. But the meek, the quiet, the loyal ones, they use and abuse. All because you have a friend. I find when I work with male leaders, guys, they don't have time for the pettiness. The nurse manager comes with petty too. Mhm. There's three things that I try to, when I go into the job, I try to be mindful of people. I observe them, listen to what they're saying, listen to everything, their actions, and just do my work. That's what I'm here for. A lot of people will try to befriend you. You think that they coming at you, the co-workers, like your friend. Oh, girl, let's go to the break room. Take a break. Want to find out more about you. But all they doing is racking up that tab that they're going to use and abuse it and trigger. When you trigger them, they'll try to do something to hurt you. And I don't mean physically hurt you, verbally hurt you, probably tell somebody in management about you. But if you are not the friend, let me tell you, they were gonna there was this one nurse, she was so nice, I love her. In other words, she treat everybody with fairness. She wasn't a charge nurse and anything. And she said something that I feel like she was telling the truth. They were writing her up because something happened, emergency happened, and she had to go home early. And she did the right thing, chain of command with her supervisor, her ADON. She told them all. She had to leave early because the baby was sick and she got to go. She got to take the baby to the hospital. Babysitter said, come, you have to go. Management come in. They didn't like that. And she wasn't one of the friends. And write her up. Now, I've always tell you, when they call me to the office, that's the time I've already decide that I'm going to move on. And she did the same thing that I did. They were going to write her up because she left early. She decided to quit. I wouldn't recommend anyone to quit the job until they stepping in another job. Just resign. It's easier that way. Because all they can say, unless they bold enough to tell the facility, you can sue them something bad about you. All they can say, you work in the such and such a date. That's all they should be saying when they call them. Are they a good worker? I just wanted to leave this with you. Every manager, the way they behave towards you, including the administrator, you may not know it, but think about it. They have pressure from above too. They have to keep, they have situations. That's how I look at it. now. I don't get all, the DON may be stressed because she knows she need nurses, and you got to go down there now, Patrice. Bam, on the phone. Okay, never mind. Bam. She don't have to treat you that way. You don't have to tolerate that. But I know from experience, that's why I've never taken any charge nurse position. I told one nurse that way. I've never taken a supervisor position. I've never taken a charge nurse. Darn Skippy, they won't give me ADON or DON because I don't like stress. And I'm pretty sure they have a lot of stress. But that's no excuse to treat you any kind of way. If you like this video, as a matter of fact, have a wonderful day or night in your state or your community.